Yay! So let's start with the base coat. You can choose any that suits you. I myself went for the 2-in-1 top and base coat, but I'll actually use a different top coat since I want it to be extra shiny for Christmas. So let's continue with the nail polish, the heart of the design. I went for a classic red, which suits Christmas really well. But other Christmas colors I feel like work nicely are green, if you want to go a little bit more bold, or of course gold or silver always work, and white for sure, maybe even a nice nude color. For this step, since it's the first few layers, messy is actually approved and we will correct anything that goes a little bit awry later on. And I advise to start with the first layer, and you can already dip in a second time or third time as long as you need it to cover the whole nail, and later we have to dry it for a bit. So this is optional to make it faster, but you can use a UV light or LED light. It doesn't even have to be UV curing nail polish. I just use it on my normal nail polish. Now this is where we can correct all of our little slip-ups of our creative process. Because after drying the first layer of nail polish, we will now apply with the same nail polish a second layer. You don't have to necessarily do it, but it does make it more bright and saturated. And I also believe it makes it more shiny and just more intense, which I really like. So you can go in with a Q-tip and put it into the nail polish. It gives you a little bit of a wider tip. If that's too much, you can also just scrape it away with a toothpick, so you don't even need nail polish remover for now. And I believe you're planning on wearing it for the whole holidays, so you can wait on stocking up on it. I personally love using a Q-tip because I actually take off a little bit more nail polish on the sides than is the width of my nail beds, because then it makes them more slim looking and elongates the fingers. So that's a neat little trick for you. I actually learned this from a professional book that was talking about nail polish designs, and that was such a long time ago, but it's so funny, I still use it to this day. Any nails that still don't have this perfect smoothness on the surface, I like to go ahead and dip the nail polish brush into the container again, but not too much. This is where you have to find the balance, and it depends on your nail polish and your nails as well. Not too much and not too little, because if you use too little, then it will show the nail polish brush swatches on the nail. And if you use too much, then it will be oversaturated on nail polish on your nails, because you have already 2 coats basically. But if you have the perfect balance, you can go one last time over it to smooth everything out, and it looks so pretty. So here's a funny hack I just came up with. I use this weird little blush thingy you use for blopping on your face. I don't know the name of it. And you put some nail polish on it because it doesn't go through. So it's basically just a silicone pad, but you can use anything that is smooth. And it allows your finger to actually go in. And it creates those nice little shapes of French nails without too much effort. Of course you ask, but what about the mess I just made on my finger? Well, this is where we go in with the Q-tip again. And here you can just get creative. I like to use this super thin brush that I got as an extra nail polish brush, but I guess you could even use a normal brush that is thin. I used those before. And those are great to make thin lines. As you can see, you can do the French nails also with these ones, which will make them more dainty than the silicone pad method. So I'm just showing you different methods you can apply, and you can literally just use your creativity. If you don't like lines, you can make dots. There is a specific tool for it. You can just use like a nail or a needle and dip it in and make some dots. Here I just went in for a classic tree branch design that reminds of the Christmas tree. Of course, some little cute stars are a must, in this case a swooping star. Of course, now you know all the extra nail polish that went into your finger, you can just remove with a Q-tip. Yes, you got it. I also found those cute little stickers in my collection that just go really well with this Christmas theme. In gold, I just really love them. Stars, lions, literally looks like a Christmas ornament. And it's a little bit like cheating, of course, you could say, but I mean, it just ties it in together, the design, and makes it more pretty, you can see. And since this is a last minute tutorial and you probably don't have so much time to hand draw everything in, just use those designs. If you don't have them, of course, that makes it a little bit harder. But I'm sure if you're a collector like me, you can find something somewhere. Or if it really doesn't work out, you can use aluminum foil and just cut out a pattern or something. Here I found some of my most favorite and cherished top coats with special effects, and this makes the design more white, smoky, blurry effect that just reminds you of snowy nights. I also have another smoky effect one, which is dark, but I just wanted to make it super bright this Christmas. But if you go to celebrate more at night, you can also use a darker tone. And of course, let's seal everything with a top coat. Even the special effects top coats, I like to go over them as well, just to encase everything and make sure it holds extra long for the holiday season. Lastly, because this is the most delicate drying step, we want to make sure that we do not touch anything and smudge anything, because we took so much effort to make it happen. So I like to make an ice bath instead of anything else, air drying or UV lights, because it actually made sure that it solidified so much faster and it adds a nice gloss to it. So here's the final design, and I want to see yours as well, what you came up with. Let's share.